Oh, hi. Let's talk about sketchbooks. For time immemorial, us, the creative bunch, have always had debates and conversations surrounding sketchbooks, wondering if we should finish them. Do we really need to finish them? Also, should they look pretty? Should they look ugly? What am I doing? But one way or the other, sketchbooks are always part of our pa- I would say, okay, not always, let's not generalize, but I would say sketchbook is a part of most creative person's process. At least for me, sketchbooks are very, very crucial and important, and I have gone through a long journey of figuring out how the sketchbook works best for me and what kind of sketchbooks I like and what do I like to do with them. And so I just kind of want to get into all of that and show you my old sketchbook as I'm on the precipice of finishing my recent one as well. And also, I just was really inspired by Lee's video, which is really nice. So go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. And by the way, hi, my name is Masha. I'm a Rotterdam based illustrator and tattoo artist. And here I just kind of like to share a piece of life slash illustration, crafting, artsy, creative content. So if that's something for you, feel free to stick around. I kind of have a selection of four sketchbooks in front of me. They're all kind of really fitting together with the color palette. They kind of how I want to explain my story and my search for what it is I want to do with a sketchbook. I've been drawing my whole life, dude. But I've been drawing since I was very small, and at some point I got really into stationery as well, as many of us do, I'm sure. And I got into the the rabbit hole of moleskin. Have you heard of that one? Yes, but not for sketching. I was at the time drawing on like very printer paper. Actually, yeah, I was drawing just on printer paper sheets. I would just buy a big block and draw on that. And then I would get moleskin, like lined notebooks, and just like nice pens and tape. And I'd just be like, wow, this is so fun. I love notebooks, man. I love stationery. And I would keep like a full on journal slash diary with like my feelings, documentation of the days that have passed, the days to come, like little to-do list calendar stuff like that. I have quite a few of them in my possession still, and also quite a few I threw away when I was small. So I have one right here. It's a moleskin with movements because I love movements if you didn't know yet. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, here was me learning Japanese shortly and like a lot of writing and kind of like little stickers and stuff like that. It was very much text based. Like I would draw a bit, especially since I started studying illustration course in Rotterdam, but it was all very like I felt like I really needed to write and keep it more like a diary. So drawing would always go kind of second priority, and then I would draw like in another book. So ever since I moved to Netherlands, I started getting like also books for drawing. So like with thicker paper, I was trying like different thicknesses, different sizes as well. And it never really worked out. Like it always felt kind of like, I can't finish this. Okay, also I gotta write in my diary. Also, it's like, blah, so just I was really in that trapped state of like I cannot finish a sketchbook. I don't know if I'm really enjoying this. It just feels like it doesn't look how I want it to look. It doesn't feel good to do it. Sometimes it's great and sometimes most of the times it just sucks. So that was my sort of point. And I know that a lot of people also feel that way about their sketchbooks. So I'm here to tell you that there is a light at the end of a tunnel. Because I think what's most important about you and your relationship with your sketchbook, and like knowing what sketchbook and how to keep it, is learning what you want from it. Ever since this book, which kind of went unfinished ish. I mean, I finished it and then I started a new one and I never continued that one. I decided to do an experiment and kind of put the diary book on pause to see if that will give me like a bit more space and time to figure out what to do with my sketchbook situation. And there enters this guy. It's art creation sketchbook. It got bitten by my cat right there. It is the first sketchbook where sort of how my current sketchbooks work started. The thing that inspired this has been Fran Nerd or Fran Meneses, who's a Chilean illustrator who I really, really like. And I love her work. I was watching a lot of her YouTube at the time, and she was working on her ugly sketchbook, which basically was like she was just drawing with like this her favorite black gel pen and like writing down little notes, and she would just draw whatever and not like try to make it pretty and stuff. And it just looked so pretty to me to look at it, and I really wanted to give this a try, especially because I've always been very pencil girly, and for me to draw straight up with a pen was really scary because I was like, what if I don't know how to draw something? What if I make a mistake? And I think that decision to draw with just black gel pen was the best thing I made for my art. I don't just draw with black gel pens. I also draw with pencils, crayons, gouache, other mediums. But that one choice to kind of cut down and limit myself really, really like made me figure out some fundamental things of shape and form and contrast that then affected the rest of my sort of drawings and work in other mediums. And this is the very first page of this art creation notebook where I tried to do that black gel pen thing. You can tell that I was really trying to do something somebody else was doing because it's kind of awkward. I was drawing from references from life, things I saw and things I did. And it was difficult because I didn't necessarily like every single page, or I didn't really feel like that was really me. Like Fran was drawing a lot of people and their clothes and stuff like that, and I tried that and then it didn't look so good, and then I would try something else. But the most important thing is that I kept on doing it, and even though every now and then there would be like a different pen or different like marker color thing, like collage or something, I stuck through it and I finished the whole book. And that gave me a lot of insight and knowledge into how I use the sketchbook and what do I do with it and all of that important stuff. Okay, and since we're going kind of chronologically, I'm gonna take you to the first sketchbook that I loved. And again, just a reminder, a long it took me a long time to arrive at the point where I am actually very, very satisfied and happy with what my sketchbook feels like, looks like, and how it functions for me. Let's get in there. First of all, this is her. This is a sketchbook from a company called Nuna. It's a German brand. It has this very nice sort of, I don't even know. It's like it's almost like fake skin or something, but it's kind of like not plasticky. It's like very soft and nice cover. I also love their designs, and that's what drew me to them at first. Plus, I've always purchased and worked with bare white page sketchbooks, and these ones They have like a dot grid. They're dotted. A lot of things fell out. Oh, oh, oh. I thought it might be a nice thing to try to just have like a little bit of guideline around the page, and but not too much to make it like messy or like make it obstruct what I'm actually drawing there. This sketchbook took me 2 years. This is my very first spread. And right away on the first spread, I have to say I decided to use the same kind of gel pen for everything here to kind of keep it coherent and connected. And this idea, I feel like on its own helped me to enjoy my sketchbook as I go through it. And that's the thing I think that's good for you to know about yourself if you are looking to, I don't know, find out more about your sketchbook potential and what you like and what you want. Is you could be the person for whom it's important that you like what it is, like you like how it looks like as a whole, you know? Because I think a lot of people use sketchbooks for different reasons and for means to different ends. So sometimes people really just do like the quickest, the simplest sketches, and that's what they're for. It's not something that they want to look back at or whatever. It's just like, you know, sort of like a tool, and not like a pretty thing to look at, you know. But I think there's a lot of people who would say and think something like, oh, but it looks so pretty. Mine doesn't look anything like that. And I think I'm very clearly falling into the group of these people because I just understood at this point that for me it's important to want to look at it, because for me it's not just a place for exploration and sketching, it's something that I want to be inspiring for me as I create more work. And so I think you will really help yourself and kind of liberate yourself a bit by just accepting that you want your sketchbook to look pretty. There are some ways to do that, okay? First of all, committing to the same medium could be a very good way of bringing coherence across your sketchbook. And I think here, the two things that I'm using to bring coherence and sort of like make the sketchbook sort of pleasing to look at by having this coherence is the use of gel pen as medium. And also I was really happy with how the dots help me sort of work on the layout of each page. So the medium and the layout is all that I used here to make sure that like I'm pleased with the pages as I go, because again, that's something that I found out is important for me in order to continue working on the sketchbook. I'll just flip through to you a bit. Something you might notice, there are some to-do lists here, and I'm sort of like drawing myself a lot. And as I stopped using the diary sort of book in my rotation and fully went into, okay, this is my sketchbook, this is where I want to spend my time thinking, writing, and notice things, the sketchbook sort of fast became my planner, to-do list, my diary, and everything in between, as well as, of course, the place where I draw. And that's been really, really good for me because I found out that I don't like stretching myself, spreading myself over multiple books. It's just overwhelming. And this was like a very simple, you would think, thing to figure out. But here I am. I figured it out in the year 2023, and I couldn't be happier. This really changed it for me. Um, Another thing that I want to note is that while I limited my mediums for within the sketchbook to black gel pen, I still would draw with other mediums, but just like on the loose sheets. I found out that once some ideas come to me whilst I'm sketching, or you know, otherwise by just being in the world looking at things, I would enjoy way more coming to mediums like wet mediums like paint and sort of like oily, crunchy pastel crayons and pencils on sort of loose sheets, because then I still get to play with those mediums and develop like the ideas I have, but I don't interrupt the homogeneous look of the sketchbook I'm using. That's just something that really worked for me. I believe that there are as many ways of using sketchbooks and drawing as there are people in the world. I think for some people, perhaps more sketchbooks is the answer. Perhaps you're the person who needs the watercolor, they need them mixed media, they need them junk journal, collage book, and everything. And that's great if that's you. For me, it's just a bit too overwhelming, and that's all I can do is share my experience with you. But if you are having like some sort of specific issue with your sketchbook, or just you have any more further questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will try to be your sketchbook IT support. I would like to also talk about some things regarding the sketchbooks. As first of all, I want to say how using sketchbook has benefited my artistic practice. Most of all, I think is just for me it has been like an amazing tool that's always at my disposal to keep the juices flowing, because I find it now I'm drawing basically every day. Sometimes maybe I skip, but that's more of a rarity. And I think that that's thanks to my sketchbook and me figuring out how to use it best. I'm really not okay. I'm really not much of a digital person. I like digital. I have an iPad that I'm drawing on a lot as well, but it just feels it doesn't tickle my curiosity the same way. So for me, really like writing down and mindlessly sketching on paper really kind of turns the machine on, if you know what I'm saying. And I don't think I can play as much in the digital. And at least until I get the idea. Like it's much easier for me to brainstorm in my sketchbook and to kind of like look at the different options. And then if I know like I need sort of like a finished piece and it needs to be digital or something, then I will take it into my iPad and I will work on that later. But yeah, I think play is the cornerstone of this whole topic and video and sketchbook. Like I think sketchbooks are like your playground. They're like a treasure chest and a playground. There's something where you can really express yourself and like really do silly mistakes and fuck around and find out. And my boyfriend is filming me from outside the street. Can't wait to put that in. uh I'm sorry, I'm giggling now because he's looking at me. With most creative endeavors, it's so important to play. I think that the moments of not knowing and just trusting your instincts and messing up and then trying again really give you new answers and new solutions that you would have never came to by just sitting and being like, how can I make it better? Also, as I said, as a result of having a sketchbook that I like to see, that I like to flip through, that inspires me as I look at it, it just motivates me to draw more. Like the first sketchbook that I'm happy with took me 2 years. Sketchbook that I'm about to finish, again, it's Nuna, I'm gonna finish it in a year. I said it. I said it. I have less than a month left and I'm gonna finish that motherfucker. And why? Because it's so darn cute that I just wanna keep drawing in it. And that's the truth. And that's all she wrote. And and there.
Finish that bad boy! Yeah, we're gonna finish that bad boy! Woo!
Whoa! Isn't he a sweetie? Isn't he a sweetie? That's my boyfriend, y'all. Yo, that's my man. Anyway, I think I have yapped everything that I had to yap at the moment. If you have any more specific sketchbook questions or anything specifically you would like to know about the sketchbook that I'm about to finish, because you believe me, I'm gonna be making a video about that one too. Maybe we do a little flip through. How about that? Please leave them below I will see you in the next one. Bye. And if you're seeing all of these sketchbooking pages and you're thinking, damn, I want to really pause and have a better look, and I want to look at all of them for hours and hours on, then worry no more, because I have a Patreon, and every month I post my sketchbook spreads for free members as well as paid. So you can head on down there if you want.